For a lot of us past 60, the morning walk becomes the most important job of the day. You glance at your wrist. 6,000, 8,000, 10,000. If you haven't hit that goal, something feels unsettled, doesn't it? I understand that feeling. But I've also learned what happens when a quiet ache in the knee shows up not just after the walk, but the next morning too. If that sounds familiar, maybe it's worth pausing to ask a different question. Is that breathless push toward a number really supporting your body, or slowly spending a walking ability you'll want for years to come? Let's walk through this together. First, why that number on the screen can quietly pull our attention away from what our own joints are trying to tell us. Then I'll share a very simple gauge, something you already carry with you, that can replace that number with a safer rhythm. And finally, 3 small, no-cost adjustments you can try tomorrow to turn your walk back into an act of care, not a daily performance review. Many of us grew up thinking more is always better. Somebody tells you 10,000 steps is the gold standard, so you chase it. Walking is wonderful, don't get me wrong. The problem isn't the walking. The problem is when we teach ourselves to ignore the softer signals, a vague stiffness in the hip, a warm, dull feeling around the knee, and we tell ourselves that pushing through is the disciplined thing to do. Over time, we can get very skilled at listening to the step counter and not so good at listening to our own legs. That's where a quieter approach, one that's been around for a long time in traditional wellness routines, can help. In many Eastern habits around healthy aging, the conversation was never really about how many steps someone took. It was more about how the body felt after moving. Did you finish your walk feeling a little warmer, a little looser, your breathing still steady? Or did you come home drained and achy, needing the rest of the day to recover? That older way of thinking treats walking as a gentle check-in with yourself, not a test you pass or fail. You'll see elders taking a slow lap around the garden in the morning, no watch, no counter, just the quiet satisfaction of having moved. And they do it year after year. I lean toward that way myself. So how do you know if today's pace is a safe pace for you? There's a surprisingly reliable gauge, and it costs nothing. It's called the talk test. While you're walking, can you hold a comfortable conversation? Can you speak in full sentences, maybe a dozen or 20 words, without gasping for air? If you can talk, but you couldn't sing a song, you're in a very sustainable zone. If you're too winded to chat, your body is asking you to ease up a little. This isn't just an old wives' tale. It's backed by solid exercise science. But for us, the main point is plain. Don't walk so fast that you can't talk. After 60, our joints and our heart and lungs don't bounce back from sudden hard efforts the way they used to. Using your own voice as a speedometer gives your whole body a buffer. And that buffer matters more than we sometimes admit. Now, you might be thinking, if I walk that slowly, is it even doing anything? I understand the worry. Many of us were taught that exercise needs to be taxing to be worthwhile. But the cartilage in your knees doesn't have pain nerves. It won't complain loudly when it's being overstressed. It just gradually thins over time, and by the time the ache becomes a regular companion, the process may already have a long history. A truly supportive habit for healthy aging isn't about 1 or 2 heroic days of power walking. It's about being able to lace up your shoes a year from now, 5 years from now, still willing to go out and enjoy that walk. A gentle, steady rhythm is far kinder to this body than an occasional all-out effort. I'd much rather see you still walking comfortably next year than chasing a big number today. Let's make this concrete. Tomorrow, when you head out, try 3 very small things. First, before you leave the house, sit on the edge of your bed or a chair for half a minute. Slowly circle your ankles a few times. Gently lift your knees. This isn't a workout. It's just a signal to your joints that movement is coming, like giving them a quiet heads up. Second, for the first 10 minutes of your walk, keep the pace easy enough that you could talk without any strain. It might feel almost too slow. That's fine. Those 10 minutes are a gift you're giving your heart and blood vessels to catch up gradually. Third, somewhere in the middle of your walk, say a full sentence out loud, to yourself or to a walking partner. Just a simple sentence of 15 or 20 words. If you can say it easily, your speed is in a good place. If you have to take a breath in the middle, just slow down a little. There's no loss of face in that. These 3 things cost nothing and don't demand extraordinary willpower. They're small adjustments that shift walking from finishing a task back to taking care of yourself. A couple of gentle cautions. If you're managing a heart condition, unstable blood pressure, or if your knees or hips are already under a doctor's care, please speak with your doctor or a physical therapist before changing your walking intensity. And if you ever feel a sharp pain during a walk, the kind that stabs or catches with every step, not a dull ache, but a clear warning sign, stop and let a professional check it. Stopping doesn't mean you've failed. It means you've started to truly listen to what your body has been trying to say. At this stage of life, the thing that worries me most isn't going slowly. It's getting hurried and unsettled, and then making changes in a panic. We often search for the best method to age well, but sometimes the best method is hidden in the pace we dismissed as too gentle. Walking isn't about earning a top spot on a phone screen. It's about keeping enough strength in your legs to carry you forward comfortably year after year, so that tomorrow morning, when you step outside, your knees still feel easy and your heart is still willing. A steady walk lasts longer than a fast one. That's a trade I've come to believe in, and I think it's a trade worth making.